Hello, movie newscast family, and welcome back to the channel. In the past 24 hours, we've received the heartbreaking news of the loss of some truly remarkable individuals. Today's episode is a tribute to their incredible legacies. Airplane and Naked Gun creator Jim Abrahams, dead at 80, one of the creators behind classic comedies like Airplane and The Naked Gun, has died. The writer, producer, and director died early Tuesday morning at his home in Santa Monica, according to his son, Joseph. We're told Jim had been battling leukemia for 20 years, and the cancer was a contributing factor in his death. His son says Jim was in remission at one point during his cancer battle, but the disease came back, and he was always battling the cancer. Jim, we're told, was surrounded by family when he died. J.A. is best known for writing, directing, and producing Airplane with Jerry and David Zucker. The comedy filmmaking trio met in college at the University of Wisconsin-Madison and started a comedy group, Kentucky Fried Theater, leading to their popular screwball comedy flicks. Jim also worked on The Police Squad TV series and the Naked Gun franchise with Leslie Nielsen, and he also lent his comedic genius to Top Secret and Hot Shots. David Zucker tells TMZ he and Jerry visited Jim at his home Monday night, and he was already unconscious. They held his hand and told him how much they loved him and are very sad about his passing. David also adds, "Jerry and I are heartbroken, but at least Jim won't ever have to see Naked Gun 4. Jim was 80. Rest in peace." Slumber Party Massacre star Michael Villela dead at 84. The star, who famously played Russ Thorne in the 1982 horror film The Slumber Party Massacre, has died. Thames has confirmed. Michael's daughter, Chloe, tells TMZ he passed away on Saturday afternoon due to multiple organ failure after spending over a month in the hospital. Chloe Villela posted a tribute on Facebook Saturday with the caption, "May you rest in peace, Daddy." While best known for his work as Russ Thorne, Michael also starred in Love Letters, Wild Orchid Eye, 2 Shades of Blue, and Gotham. Michael is survived by his daughter and his ex-wife. He was 84. Rest in peace. Chuck Woolery dead at 83. Legendary game show host. Legendary game show host Chuck Woolery, best known for being the first host of Wheel of Fortune, has passed away. TMZ has confirmed. Chuck was also the host of the wildly successful dating show, Love Connection, for a dozen years. Chuck's longtime friend and podcast co-host, Mark Young, tells TMZ Chuck was home in Texas with his wife when she said he wasn't feeling well and went to lie down. She came back to the room a short time later and said he was having trouble breathing. 911 was called, but Woolery did not make it. Game show enthusiasts will be very familiar with Chuck's work, with Woolery's big break coming in 1975 when he became the first host of Wheel of Fortune. He hosted the show until 1981 when he left due to a salary dispute and Pat Sajak took over the job. He went on to host Love Connection, Scrabble, and a revival of The Dating Game. Woolery made appearances as himself on a few different TV shows over the years, including the movie Cold Feet and the sitcoms 227 and Scrubs. He also had a small music career, playing mostly country. We last caught up with Chuck back in 2016, and we asked him a ton of questions about the game show world. Chuck is survived by his wife Kim and his children, Catherine, Melissa, Michael, and Sean. He was 83. Rest in peace. Scott L. Schwartz, who has died at the age of 65, liked to bill himself as Hollywood's ultimate bad guy, though that was decidedly all promo material that he learned from his pro wrestling days. Instead, tributes are flowing in for a truly nice guy. Schwartz, born March 16, 1959, in Philadelphia, he attended George Washington High School, where he played football and baseball, and would tower over others on skates while playing hockey. After all, he grew into a 6'10", 300-pound giant. He would often credit Kugel and Mezzo ball soup for his growth, while acknowledging his Jewish roots. After graduating high school in 1977, he attended Temple University, but then switched it all up and sought out Killer Kowalski to train as a professional wrestler. He debuted in 1979 as Giant David. Kowalski ran shows around the Northeast, including many of his trainees such as Kevin Hughes, Jeff Costa, Tony Ulysses, Chris Grant, Jethro Chambers, Mike Madison, Dan Petty, and Richard Byrne. Wrestling helped Schwartz travel, including trips to Europe and South Africa. For the pro wrestling and acting community, I just saw that former wrestler Scott Schwartz, who wrestled as the Giant David many years ago, has passed, posted former referee Sal Corrente to Facebook. Scott has been an actor in LA for about 30 years. I would run into him out there at events from time to time. He was an all-around good guy, a gentleman giant. We were on shows for Mark Tendler together back in the day. Absolutely a guy gone way too soon. He always seemed to have a big booming smile that went along with his giant size. The character Schwartz portrayed changed through time, and he became the Israeli commando Joshua Ben-Gurion. While wrestling on TV in California, he caught the eye of a Hollywood agent. Acting, as he told SlamWrestling.net's Dave Hillhouse in this lengthy 2006 interview, Scott L. Schwartz, that guy on screen, was something he fell into. Schwartz had planned to always be a pro wrestler. After finding representation, Schwartz really never stopped working as an actor or stuntman, and only reluctantly stopped wrestling a few years into his new career. Earl Holliman, Golden Globe-winning actor from The Rainmaker and Forbidden Planet, dies at 96. Actor and animal rights activist Earl Holliman was known for his roles in The Twilight Zone and Policewoman. Award-winning screen star Earl Holliman died on Monday, November 25. He was 96. The actor's spouse, Craig Curtis, confirmed the news to The Hollywood Reporter. Born on September 11, 1928, in Delhi, La, Holliman was adopted and named by oil field worker Henry Holliman. He studied acting at the University of California, Los Angeles, and the Pasadena Playhouse. After making his screen debut opposite Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis in 1953's Scared Stiff, he starred in many hit westerns and dramas throughout the 1950s and 60s. Holliman won a Golden Globe Award for his supporting performance as Jim Curry, a role he beat out Elvis Presley for. In the 1956 Burt Lancaster and Katharine Hepburn film The Rainmaker. That same year, he appeared in the groundbreaking sci-fi hit Forbidden Planet alongside Walter Pidgeon, Anne Francis, and Leslie Nielsen. The actor also had the distinction of appearing in the debut episode of CBS Rod Serling-created hit The Twilight Zone, the 1959 episode, Where Is Everybody? From 1974 to 1978, Holliman became a beloved fixture for NBC audiences as Sergeant Bill Crowley on the television cop drama Policewoman. He and co-star Angie Dickinson remained friends in the years following. Holliman followed up his Golden Globe win with another nomination for a 1992 episode of Delta starring Delta Burke. He was presented with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 1977. A longtime animal rights activist, Holliman served as the president of Actors and Others for Animals for decades. It was at an animal adoption event that Holliman was emceeing that the late Bob Barker met his longtime girlfriend Nancy Burnett. Peggy Caserta, former lover of Janis Joplin, dies at 84. Caserta wrote 2 memoirs about her time with the rocker, including 1973's Going Down with Janis and 2018's I Ran Into Some Trouble. Peggy Caserta, a former lover of Janis Joplin, has died. She was 84. Nancy Cleary, her friend and the publisher at Wyatt Mackenzie, which released her 2018 memoir, I Ran Into Some Trouble, confirmed to Deadline that Caserta died on Thursday, November 21, of natural causes at her cabin on the Tillamook River on the Oregon coast. Born on September 12, 1940 outside of New Orleans, Caserta moved around from Louisiana to Mississippi, Alabama to Georgia and Texas. By the mid-1960s, Caserta, who was living openly as a lesbian in San Francisco's Haight-Ashbury community, and opened Masidica, one of the nation's first hippie clothing shops. During that time, she dressed the Grateful Dead and met Joplin, who was her neighbor. In 1973, Caserta published her memoir Going Down with Janus, which chronicled her friendship and romance with the Me and Body McGee musician. In the years since its publication, Caserta claimed the memoir was penned by her ghostwriter on the book, Dan Knapp. "I didn't write that trash," she told Vulture in 2018. "I sold out for drug money, and I've lived in the shadow of it for 40-some-odd years." She also alleged the book fueled her drug habit. "I'm not going to make excuses for using, because a drug addict really needs no excuse. But every time that I thought I could get clean or tried to get clean, I would think about that book, and all I'd want to do is numb out again," Caserta told the publication. In 2018, Caserta released another memoir, I Ran Into Some Trouble, which alleged that the Cry-Baby singer didn't die from a drug overdose in 1970. Instead, the author claimed she tripped, broke her nose, and died of asphyxiation from blood. Per Rolling Stone, Helen Gallagher, star of Ryan's Hope and two-time Tony winner, dies at 98. The Tony and Daytime Emmy winner played matriarch Maeve Ryan on the beloved soap opera. Helen Gallagher has died. Gallagher, a Broadway star who found wider fame playing Maeve Ryan on the ABC soap opera Ryan's Hope from 1975 to 1989, died at the age of 98. Playbill announced the news in an Instagram tribute. "We are saddened to report that two-time Tony winner Helen Gallagher has passed away at the age of 98. The Post read, "Our condolences go out to her family, friends, and fans." Edith Meeks, executive and artistic director at New York's Herbert Berghoff Studio, told The Washington Post the actress died on Sunday, November 24, at a New York City hospital. Gallagher was born in New York City in 1926 and grew up primarily in the Bronx. When her parents split, she and her brother lived with an aunt. She described herself as nervous by nature, but told the New York Times in 1971, "I was so shy, but on stage I was totally free. There was a sort of absolution there, to do what you couldn't in life." Dancing was her first love. She made her Broadway debut in 1944 in the musical revue, Seven Lively Arts, after landing the gig because of her dancing prowess. Her first major breakthrough came in the 1952 revival of Pal Joey, for which she won her first Tony Award for Best Featured Actress in a Musical. She had her first starring role in 1953's Hazel Flagg as the title character. "I was petrified the first week of rehearsals," she told the New York Times in 1953. "After 3 days, I told my agent to get me out. I couldn't do the role." Mary McGee dies. Motorsports legend and star of Oscar-contending documentary, Motorcycle Mary, was 87. Mary McGee, the motor racing legend profiled in the Oscar-contending documentary Motorcycle Mary, died Wednesday in Gardnerville, Nev, according to her family. She was 87. Mary embodied resilience, grace, and optimism, McGee's family wrote on Facebook. The post did not disclose a cause of death. She was a historic athlete and a motorsports pioneer who embraced life's challenges, cared deeply for others, and made time to brighten the lives of those around her. While we are deeply saddened by this loss, we are comforted knowing that her light will continue to shine in everyone she touched. Motorcycle Mary, which held its world premiere at the Tribeca Festival in June, documents McGee's triumphs first in auto racing and later in motorcycle racing on track and the open country. She became the first person, man or woman, to complete solo the grueling Baga 500 off-road race in Mexico. The ESPN 30 for 30 film, directed by Haley Watson and executive produced by Formula One champion Lewis Hamilton and two-time Oscar winner Ben Proudfoot, will debut Thursday on ESPN's YouTube channel. McGee was in her 70s when she last raced, and in 2018, she earned induction into the AMA Motorcycle Hall of Fame. We would like to take a moment to extend a thank you to the healthcare providers, caregivers, friends, and family members that made Mary's transition peaceful, her family wrote on Facebook. She particularly enjoyed the last few months meeting those who learned her story through the documentary, Motorcycle Mary. We welcome you to share memories here so that Mary's great spirit continues to resonate as we celebrate the extraordinary life she lived. Barbara Taylor Bradford, author of A Woman of Substance, which was adapted into a hugely successful Channel 4 drama series, has died aged 91. Taylor Bradford died yesterday after a short illness. Bradford's publisher HarperCollins confirmed the news this morning. The publisher's CEO Charlie Redmayne described her as a truly exceptional writer whose first book, the international bestseller A Woman of Substance, changed the lives of so many who read it, and still does to this day. In 1979, she published her Rags to Riches debut, A Woman of Substance, about protagonist Emma Hart and the retail empire created by her and her family. The book sold 30 million copies worldwide and made a star of Taylor Bradford, who went on to write 6 more in the series. A Woman of Substance was made into a Channel 4 drama series in 1984 starring Jenny Seagrove. It was watched by 14 million people, which remains a Channel 4 record, and was nominated for 2 Emmys. Another 9 of Taylor Bradford's books were made into TV miniseries or movies over the years, all of which were produced by her husband, Robert E. Bradford, the American film producer who died in 2019. These included Hold the Dream, To Be the Best, Act of Will, and Voice of the Heart from the Emma Hart saga. Taylor Bradford was prolific and wrote many other books including the Ravenscar trilogy, Cavenden Chronicles, and House of Falconer trilogy, the last of which was written last year, titled The Wonder of It All, which was her 40th novel. Paying tribute, her publisher and editor, Lynn Drew, told the BBC, dominating the bestseller lists, she broke new ground with her sweeping epic novels, spanning generations, novels which were resolutely not romances, and she epitomized the woman of substance she created, particularly with her ruthless work ethic. Bill Battle, former Alabama football player and athletics director, dies at 82. Bill Battle, who won a national championship as an Alabama football player and later became UA's athletics director after a highly successful turn in the business world, has died, UA announced Thursday. He was 82. Battle, a Birmingham native, played for Paul Bear Bryant, starting for 3 years from 1960 to 62. Alabama won the national championship in 1961, and Battle's efforts also earned him a spot on the UA All-Decades team for the 1960s as a tight end, first team, and a defensive end, second team. Coach Battle was a great player and top prospect in the South when he came to Alabama at a time when the program was down, Paul Bryant Jr. said in a statement. He started for Papa for 3 years, including a national championship. He created the licensing industry that the university and schools nationwide still benefit from today. He was a major donor to the university. When we needed him again, he left retirement to help us as athletic director. Among Battle's accolades, he received a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame. He also earned a spot in the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame in 1981, the National Collegiate Licensing Association Hall of Fame, the Alabama Business Hall of Fame, and more. Battle also received the 2005 Paul W. Bryant Alumni Athlete Award. UA also named its Strength and Conditioning Complex in his honor, calling it the Bill Battle Athletic Performance Center. Bill Battle's legacy at the University of Alabama is profound and enduring, UA President Stuart R. Bell said in a statement. His generosity and visionary leadership elevated our institution and enriched the lives of countless students and colleagues. His dedication to excellence and steadfast devotion to UA will inspire generations to come. We are forever grateful for his friendship and his lasting impact on our community. Leah Kunkel dies. Singer and sister of Mama Cass. Leah Kunkel, the younger sister of Cass Elliot and herself an in-demand session vocalist who recorded with such artists as Jackson Browne, James Taylor, Art Garfunkel, Carly Simon, Stephen Bishop, and many others, and released a pair of solo albums for Columbia Records, died today, November 26, 2024. Her passing, at age 76, was announced by Cass' daughter, Owen Elliott Kugel, whom Kunkel raised after the death of her sister in 1974. At the time, Kunkel was married to drummer Russ Kunkel. It is with heavy hearts that we announce the passing of our beloved mother, Leah Rachel Kunkel. Read the post signed by Owen along with Nathaniel Kunkel, Leah, and Russ Kunkel's son. From the liner notes of one of her solo albums, Leah Cohen was born on June 15, 1948, schooled in the Greenwich Village folk scene, where she hung with Fred Neil and John Sebastian. When she visited her older sister, Cass, in Los Angeles, she signed as a songwriter to Trousdale Music and married old flame Russ Kunkel in 1968. Leah Kunkel provided the background vocals for James Taylor's cover of Handyman, a number 4 hit in 1977. Kunkel graduated from Smith College in 1988, years after her recording career, and went on to earn a law degree. She was in private practice for more than 25 years, focusing on entertainment law. Val Garay, who produced Kunkel's debut album, called her one of my dearest friends of many, many years, adding she was a wonderful mother and a great lawyer in her later years. Leah, you will be missed more than you'll ever know. Longtime Hamilton Tiger Cats QB, GM Joe Zuger, dead at 84. Joe Zuger has passed away at the age of 84. The native of Homestead, PA, signed with the Tiger Cats in 1962, despite being drafted by the Detroit Lions that same year. He made a huge impact in his first game under center with the team, throwing for 572 yards and 8 touchdowns in a 67-21 win over the Saskatchewan Roughriders, the latter of which remains a single-game CFL record. Zuger played 10 seasons with the team at a variety of positions, throwing for 12,676 yards, 76 touchdowns, and 95 interceptions, rushing for 885 yards and 12 scores, intercepting 9 passes, and punting 1,075 times for an average of 45.5 yards. He went 49-27-2 as a starting quarterback and won 3 Grey Cups, earning the game's Most Valuable Player award in 1967. Joe was a hero to so many of us growing up in Hamilton. He was one of the most celebrated players in franchise history and an integral part of 4 Grey Cup championships, said team owner Bob Young in a statement. Ralph Sazio, Joe's coach, once told me that Joe's artistic and creative approach was the source of his remarkable success. I, the Tiger Cats organization, and Ticats fans everywhere mourn Joe's passing, and we offer our sincere condolences to his family and friends for their loss. Following his retirement, the Arizona State University product served as the general manager of the Tiger Cats from 1981 to 1992, posting a record of 95-106-5. The team qualified for 4 Grey Cups during his tenure, winning 1 in 1986. As hard as I may look, I am quite delicate, the actor, who is known for his muscleman roles, says. Although Luke Evans has become known for his impressive and toned physique, he's not always confident in his appearance. The actor, 45, appeared on the November 27 episode of the How to Fail with Elizabeth Day podcast and got candid about aging and having to show off his body throughout his career. I still sometimes go to the gym and just feel very anxious, he explained. I look at myself in the mirror and just go, you don't look good enough, or you're letting it go. I look at my face. The terrible part of my industry is that you're just reminded constantly of the decades of film you've done when you had not a crease on the face and not one gray stubble, whereas all my stubble is now gray. I've had to learn to be kinder to myself, but I have terrible anxiety about feeling good enough physically, he continued. Part of that isn't completely bad. because it gives you a little something to fight for. But it can be overwhelming. I've been on a beach just recently, and I didn't want to take my t-shirt off. I don't want to be in that place. I know I shouldn't feel like that, but you know we are sensitive creatures. We're very delicate. As hard as I may look, I am quite delicate. Evans said that staying fit and maintaining a certain fitness level is part of his job, and admitted that if he wasn't an actor, he wouldn't prioritize his appearance as much as he does now. He's known for movies in which he has to be in top shape, like Beauty and the Beast, Fast and Furious, and the Hobbit trilogy. I'm sure if I didn't have to go and take my top off on a movie set every now and again, I'd probably let it all go, he said. I wouldn't care so much, but it is part of my job. I get cast in certain roles that require a certain amount of physical strength and aesthetic. It's been good because it's probably kept me on the straight and narrow. Evans added that he often sees other men walking down the street or sitting in a bar confidently and wishes he could feel that way as effortlessly as they do. The star previously gave insight to his intense fitness plan whenever he takes on a role that requires him to have a muscular physique. When I'm training hard, the diet is miserable, he revealed during a 2014 interview with Men's Health UK.